You know I'm a petty thief. Well, perhaps I'll go on the prowl. It took some prowling, but I finally made a score. Go on, have a gander.
Very good.
Hey, how's it going, nerds? Today I am using the Corvian Great Knife. It is a dagger with the best reach in the game for a dagger, and it's quite pointy, and it's got one of the best dagger movesets. That is just as weapon art. They sped it up. It wasn't really something you would use. You might consider using it, as like a mix-up. After a lengthy fight, you might use it, but now blindspot is so fast. It feels like it's about as fast as an R1 on a straight sword or a curved sword. So you can use your dagger moveset, or you can use the blindspot just because it's that fast. It could actually roll catch. It pierces through shields. So if you're doing, let's say you don't have a dark dagger, everybody knows right now you want to use a dark weapon. You don't have to use a dark Corvian knife because it's so fast, the blind spot is. You could just use blind spot on somebody who's blocking too much. And what I would probably do is walk up to the shield. Don't use blind spot right away. They're expecting that. Throw out a few R1. See if you get them to block the R1 and then follow in with the blind spot. They're either going to have to roll or you're going to catch them off guard and you're actually going to hit them. If they try to attack during that sequence, during your attack sequence, you're probably going to beat them on the first swing. The blind spot's going to come out before their R1 will come out. It's actually that fast. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with blind spot. You can see I'm doing a light roll build. I don't know if that's really necessary. You could probably do medium roll and have better armor. especially considering you're going to get pretty good armor because Corvian Great Knife doesn't weigh very much. So you're going to get some pretty decent heavy armor, better defense. But in this case, I'm using the light roll. Light roll really allows you to kind of use your roll as an attack. You know, you're actually pursuing your opponent because the roll goes further than the medium roll, if you didn't know that. You also get more iframes during the light roll. But yeah, I didn't really feel it was necessary. It was more like for fun, more like for the play style. And it did work out. I did feel like there were certain situations where I did have an advantage just because I was light rolling, especially, believe it or not, especially in invasions. Everybody runs away in invasions. So actually light roll in invasions made a lot of sense. In the arena, not as much. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed some of the footage here. We're going to do invasions at the end, and as usual, I have a tier rating at the end of the video, so stick around.
Nope.
Heavens, she was already dead.
Hey guys, if you're getting R1 spammed by a dagger, just roll away.
Oh no, he's revealing all the secrets to Dark Souls. Somebody has to stop him.
Alright, and now for the tier ratings. I'm giving Corvian Great Knife an A+ in the dual tier, and that's because it is just long enough that you don't have to get in super close range. It's very capable of roll catching with the blind spot now, and the R1 is fast enough to interrupt a lot of the other light weapons. I think that its shortcoming is it doesn't really have the same damage that those other weapons do, and it certainly doesn't have the range, so a skilled player will probably try to outrange you. And then for invasions, I'm going to have to give it a slightly lower tier ranking, probably like a B+. If you can get the host and his buddies to split up, you're actually going to wreck them pretty hard. Like I already mentioned, I give it an A+ for dual fighting, right? But in a group, and that's primarily what I look at when we do invasions, in a group is not as useful. You don't really have the range to harass like you can with some weapons, and you certainly can't hoist through anything, and you're not going to catch a bunch of players in a large horizontal swing. So B+, just because it's a very capable weapon, but you're going to have to split your opponents up. Finally, you have PvE. So PvE is going to be even lower than the invasion tier ranking. I'm thinking C+. Is certainly not your worst option. There's a lot of daggers that are way weaker than this one, but I mean, you're going to have to play close to whatever it is you're fighting. You will have to play close to it. A lot of the enemies in this game have poise, and those are usually the enemies you have to worry the most about, including the boss, right? You got two problems going on. You're not going to be able to interrupt anybody with a dagger, and you're definitely not going to be able to hoist through anything. Those are two large weaknesses. On top of that, your damage isn't the best. So yeah, in PvE, I will have to give it a C+. One of the better daggers, but not really, you wouldn't want to use a dagger in PvE anyways. All right, and that's everything I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching.
Oh, I've gone and run my course, haven't I?